My entire life, people have told me how much potential I possess. And to be honest, I hate when people tell me that. Because the truth is, potential simply means you haven't done anything yet. Everyone in this world has the potential to be successful. However you define success, you have the ability to achieve it. But the majority of people in this world will never reach their true potential because life is hard. And in life comes many obstacles. And some of those obstacles are self-inflicted. And other obstacles are simply unavoidable. But we take those obstacles and we make excuses for not being where we should be in life. Because everyone has excuses. I have my own. When I was a sophomore in high school, my parents were divorced. And a year after that, I was diagnosed with melanoma, the deadliest form of skin cancer. According to American Cancer Society, being black, I only had a 0.1% chance of getting melanoma in my lifetime. The average age of detection for melanoma is 62 years old. I was 16. 10,000 people this year alone will die from melanoma. I remember the day that I found out that I had skin cancer. I was living with my father, and my mother called me on the phone. And she told me that the mole removed from my hip was cancerous. And I remember looking at my father, and him looking back at me, and listening to my mother on the phone, and my whole world went black. Because life as I knew it had ended. I thought I was going to die. Because at that age, the only thing I associated cancer with was death. Because everyone that I had ever known that had cancer died. And those thoughts and fears of death came back to me when I was sitting in a hospital bed one night recovering from my second surgery. And these kids come into the room, and they have a balloon and they have a card. And they come and sing me a song, and they're there to cheer me up. And here I was somebody's charity case. And I thought I was going to die. And after my second surgery, my cancer was gone. But I developed a condition known as lymphedema in my leg, which basically means my leg swells up every day. So when I was in high school, I was undergoing physical therapy to treat this condition. And I made a poor decision in a class that I didn't even need to graduate. And I got expelled from high school. So what happened to all that potential that people spoke of? Because I had mountains of potential. I graduated high school with a 3.0 GPA despite everything that I had went through. Although I never studied, I never did any homework. I rarely opened a textbook. The potential was just wasted. But I took those obstacles in my life and I made excuses for them. And eventually I hit rock bottom. Now, rock bottom for me was sleeping in a car, becoming homeless for a period of time, not knowing where my next meal was coming from. Rock bottom for you may be very different. Understand that there are different variations of rock bottom. If Bill Gates woke up today in my life, he'd look around and he'd say, "This is rock bottom." I would tell Bill, "Hey, it's not that bad. It's not that bad." Now, you may be sitting here thinking to yourself right now, that would never be me. I would never hit rock bottom. I would never dive that far below my potential. And for the most part, that's a true statement. Because most people will never hit rock bottom. Where most people find themselves is a place far worse than rock bottom. Because when you're in rock bottom, there's nowhere to go but up. And if you recognize that, all you have to do is go up. But you may find yourself becoming content with where you are in life. You're not going up, you're not going down, you're just content with where you are. Because I would eventually get a job. I would eventually get my own car, get my own place to stay. But I was content with where I was in life and I wasn't reaching my potential. So why? Why did those poor decisions lead to me not reaching my potential? But you have to understand that you have to not become content and stay along that path to reach your potential. And along that path, you will find two kinds of people in your life. This first type of person, they will be content with themselves and where they are in life. And they either drag you down or enable you to be where you are. But the second type of person is who you should surround yourself with. The second type of person will motivate you. They will inspire you. They will encourage you to reach your potential because they see it in you. And for me, that person was the woman who eventually became my wife, who motivated me and inspired me, who saw the potential in me and made sure that I realized it. And also my daughter, who's not even 4 years old yet, but challenges me in ways that nobody else can. Because she challenges me as a father, and she challenges me as a man. She challenges me to set the example for her, to walk the path to my potential so that she can one day walk hers. And my father, who would always tell me that there are two paths in life. There's the path to reach your potential, and there's this other path. And for the majority of my life, I spent time on that other path, not listening to his advice. And when I began to finally listen to his advice, and my wife motivated me, inspired me, and my daughter was there, and I knew that I had to walk my path to reach my potential, I began to take ownership of my life. Like we all must take ownership of our lives, no matter where we are. Recognize where you are and how you got there, and don't make excuses. Identify your ceiling and break through it. Because at one point, my ceiling was just being here, being in college. But now that I'm here, I'm attempting to break through that. Because I can't become content with just coming to class. Whatever you identify your potential to be, understand that you are greater than anything you could ever imagine. Because inside all of us lies mountains of potential. So before I leave here today, I just have one question for all of you. When are you going to start turning your potential into achievement? Thank you.